Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Today we will be talking about the story of Prophet Musa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imagine you are the most powerful man in the world. You have absolute control. People fear you and no one dares to question your rule. But then one day someone comes along claiming there's a power greater than you, a God who can take away everything from you. And this is a story of Pharaoh and Prophet Musa, a battle between arrogance and faith, between oppression and justice. It's a story of miracles, divine punishment, and a tyrant who refused to bow to the truth. So stay with me to the end, because what happens to Pharaoh is something you will never forget. Pharaoh wasn't just a ruler, he was literally a self-proclaimed god. He demanded that people worshipped him. His word was law and no one questioned him. But one night, he had a terrifying dream. He saw a fire coming from Baitul Maqdis, which is Jerusalem, burning everything in Egypt except the houses of the Israelites. He called his advisors, priests, and sorcerers. He said, "Tell me," he demanded that, "what does this dream mean?" So one of them stepped forward and said, "A child will be born from the Israelites, and he will grow up to destroy your kingdom." The Pharaoh's face darkened. His biggest fear had came true, and he wasn't just ruling over Egyptians. He had pretty much enslaved Bani Israel, forcing them into back-breaking labor. And now his dream was telling him that one of them, just a single child, would be his biggest downfall. So Pharaoh made the horrifying decision: kill every newborn baby in Bani Israel. His soldiers stormed home, snatching babies from their mothers' arms and slaughtering them. It was pure cruelty. Mothers wept and fathers were helpless. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had a plan. Indeed, Pharaoh exalted himself in the land and its people into factions, oppressing a sector among them, slaughtering their newborn sons and keeping their females alive. Indeed, he was the corruptors. Surah Al-Qasas 28:4. In the middle of all this chaos, a woman named Yaqabad gave birth to a baby boy. This boy was none other than Prophet Musa sallam. She was terrified. What if the soldiers found him? And what if they killed him? Worst of all. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired her. Nurse him, but when you fear for him, cast him into the river, and do not fear nor grieve. Indeed, we will return him to you and will make him one of the messengers. Surah Al-Qasas 28:7. Imagine the fear in your heart, imagine the fear in her heart. Imagine how hard it must have been to let go of her baby, knowing that the river could take him anywhere. But she trusted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and did what she was commanded. A basket floated gently on the Nile River, carried by currents. It passed through the city unnoticed. And where did it end up? At Pharaoh's palace. Pharaoh's wife, Asiyah al-Salam, was different from him. She was kind, merciful, and she believed in one true God. When she saw a baby in a basket, her heart melted. She picked him up and said to Pharaoh, "Do not kill him. Perhaps he may benefit us. We may adopt him as a son." Surah Al-Qasas 28:9. Pharaoh surprisingly agreed, and just like that, the very man who was meant to destroy Pharaoh was now growing up at his own palace. But there was one problem. Prophet Musa would not drink milk from any of the palace nurses. Meanwhile, his real mother was heartbroken, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala works in amazing ways. Prophet Musa's sister had been secretly following the basket and saw what happened. She approached at the palace and said, "Shall I direct you to a household that will be responsible for him for you while they are sincere?" Surah Al-Qasas 28:12. And so Prophet Musa's old mother was brought to the palace to feed and take care of her own child. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had fulfilled his promise. Thus we restored him to his mother, so that her heart might be at ease and not grieve, and that she would know that the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is true. But most of the people do not know. Surah Al-Qasas 28:13. Years passed. Prophet Musa grew up as a prince in Pharaoh's palace, but deep down he knew he wasn't truly one of them. One day he saw an Egyptian man beating an Israelite slave. The slave cried for help, and Prophet Musa ran forward, pushing the Egyptian away. But his force was too great. The man collapsed and died. Prophet Musa was shocked. He didn't even mean to kill him, but fear gripped him. "My Lord, indeed, oh, I've wronged myself, so forgive me." Surah Al-Qasas 28:16. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave him. The next day he saw two men fighting again, and when Prophet Musa tried to stop them, one shouted, "Are you going to kill me like you killed that man yesterday?" Surah Al-Qasas 28:19. People overheard, the news spread. A man rushed to Prophet Musa and warned him, "O Musa, the chiefs are planning to kill you, so flee at once." Surah Al-Qasas 28:20. Then Prophet Musa fled the city, escaping to Madian. After years in Madian, Prophet Musa started a new life, got married, and lived at peace. But then everything changed. When traveling back to Egypt, he saw a fire burning on a mountain. Curious, he told his family to wait while he went and checked it out. As he approached the fire, a voice called out, "O Musa, indeed, I am Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the worlds." Surah Al-Qasas 28:30. Prophet Musa trembled. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him two miracles. His staff turned into a living snake in Surah An-Naml 27:10, and number 2, his hand glowed with divine light in Surah Al-Qasas 28:32. Then came the command, go to Pharaoh, he has truly transgressed, in Surah Taha 20:24. Prophet Musa was hesitant, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had reassured him, allowing his brother Harun to help him. And so Prophet Musa had returned to Egypt to face the tyrant who had once raised him. Prophet Musa stood in Pharaoh's court and delivered this message, worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone and free my people. Pharaoh had left. He challenged Prophet Musa to prove himself. The confrontation was set. What happens next? The plagues, the Red Sea, and Pharaoh's final moments. To be continued in part 2.